beyond me is the audience, or rather, beyond me is the orchestra pit. Beyond that, the tunnels where you won't be any. Stage directions, I'm sure a lot of you will be aware of stage directions. Just so you know, there's plenty more space up here. If you want to have a gentle shuffle, it'll just make people more comfortable. Stage directions, you will always need stage directors if you're focusing your lights, directing your actors, moving your set, so you're all talking the same language. Stage directions are always called if you're standing on the stage facing the audience. So stage left, stage right, and upstage and downstage comes from when you have rakes on the stage. The downstage is from upstage at the back. Upstage is about a good 40 feet beyond that back wall there, at least, to give you an idea. Welcome to the machine room. Everything here moves. Everything here is designed to raise, lower, move, shake, open the stage in one way or another. It's principally done down here by 6 bridges or lifts. They are all load bearing. They can all be raised or lowered through the floor of the stage. And these lifts are set parallel to each other, downstage, one behind the other, upstage. 4 of these lifts are electric. The 2 upstage lifts, these arches abutting the back wall here, date from about 1890. The 2 downstage lifts right above my head here, you might see with these old garages that lift up and down on vertical rails, date from about 1920. They are fully counterweighted, and they can be raised about 12 feet above the stage and come to about 10 feet below, which is roughly level with where you are now. And the counterweights cope with a tiny 10-12 horsepower electric motors. At the moment, Oliver has what they call a floating stage, where they're built on top of ours, which is quite a common thing to do. And Oliver has its own engineering inside their stage, hence these being jacked up at the moment. Their own engineering inside the stage for cabling, for set moving, and because Fagan's gang actually crawl through the stage and appear through manhole covers as if they're coming in and out through the streets of London at the moment. But the highlight, for me the highlight down here, are the 2 centre bridges, supported as they are on these 4 metal pillars. And these metal pillars are hydraulic rams, and they work under water pressure. And the water pressure is supplied by something called the London Hydraulic System. It still exists in a basic form, but it was water, the pumping stations around London, and water kept at very high pressure on a circuit. So like gas or electricity, you could pay for hydraulic power. You draw water off that system into these pistons, would give you 1.5 tons of available lift on each one, force and line. Who's into the technical side of things? It'll be excellent. You do realise you'll earn more money and be called more consistently employed than anybody else. Remember that. Be very nice. Yeah, so it's called a total loss system. When you want it to drop again, you just open the valves, dump the pressure, gravity takes hold and they fall. And what makes them so remarkable, quite apart from the fact that they are glorious pieces of engineering in their own right, is that unlike the electric bridges, which will go straight up and straight down, these things will move independently of each other. What it means is you can rock the stage, you consider it at certain angles. So, a full-size train crash they approached on here, sinking or a floating ship, lines of ensemble girls being leaving up through and being going up through the floor of the stage and being tiered. Are we going for a run, Ellie, or not?
I'm going to go outside with the train.
I'm going to go outside with the train. All right, just so. Yes, and one of the things we created here, people think the spectacle is all a modern thing with hydraulics and everything else. Not so. One of the many things we had here, and instead that does spectacle, were animals, not just machinery. We had permanent stabling for 10, 12 horses here 1900 years ago. Donkeys, goats, monkeys, camels, that was just one production, the Garden of Adam, in 1921. But in 1907 we staged a production called The Whip. And in The Whip was horse race. You know the film National Velvet with Elizabeth Taylor? It's the story of National Velvet before it ever became a film. Right? They staged a running of a very famous British horse race. They staged a running of the Epsom Derby with live animals. 1907. 6 animals, 4-size animals. Girdle, cradle underneath. Tree movement for their legs. They were then cabled up and hung to the flag. I am truly sorry I haven't got on the stage today, but the flying wing is 80 feet tall and has a 130-degree fly. Just so. So these animals are hung hooves on the stage, side onto the audience, one behind the other, all facing the stage right wing. Then these bridges were dropped, taking the weight away from their hooves. Underneath their hooves are placed free-running treadmills, like a running machine you'd have in a gym, yes? So that the animals could gallop and go absolutely nowhere. Because they were cradled, because they were wired from above, each horse had its own runners in the top and the flying. So you could individually gantry these animals, stage left to stage right or back again, at the gallop. So that you can see one gaining ground, one losing ground, yes? Attached to their tails were little bits of string or cord strung out to the stage left wing. Young stage lads, 10, 12 years old, their job was to be in the stage left wing, twitching these bits of cord to make sure their tails looked like they were flapping in the wind with the speed that they were galloping. And then to complete the whole illusion, the machinery is actually still encased in the concrete at the back there, on more electric motors, were two gear-driven spindles, upstage left, stage right. On these spindles, backdrop canvas, hand-painted, stitched, rolls, a scene of the ups and downs going by in the opposite direction. That was all created in the joys of the Drury Lane stage machinery. And I know it looks a little bit like the museum down here. The last time it was all used was probably 42nd Street, a good 25 years ago now, with a young Catherine Zeta-Jones in the ensemble. And the first number, the tap number, with all these ladies appear through the floor of the stage, tiered up to do this huge number. There's well over 100 people make a show happen here every night. That's probably an average, and that would say big West End show, somewhere close to that. If you're into the theatre, you know you get your call, your tannoy calls to prepare you 5 minutes before they're actually needed, so everybody's ready to go. So, at beginners, say this is 42nd Street, say your bridges are preset down, you're looking way up into the flying room, the house taps are in, the orchestra's warming up behind the brickwork there, audience are finding their seats. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your Act 1 beginners call, please. Act 1 beginners to the stage, please. Stand by, please. Electrics, lights, flies, stage, drinks, wardrobe, and flies. And all technical staff, Mr. Smith, ladies and gentlemen of the orchestra, this is your Act 1 beginners call, please. Act 1 beginners to the stage, please. All that is then repeated. And then down here, we have 6 bridge operators here, the sound of the water pressing into the tanks to get the pressure up. We have an ASM, assistant stage manager, on a radio carrying microphones talking to the prompt corner. The prompt corner are waiting for clearance, everything is safe and good to go. 25 to 30 ladies of the ensemble in full costume now getting onto the bridges for their first entrance. They will do somebody from wigs, somebody in wardrobe with them to make sure they are okay. And then when you get the go, the sound of a 25, 30 piece orchestra through one layer of brickwork here is really quite phenomenal. Overture go, lights go, lighters from above, house tabs go, bridges 1 through 6 go, and that's when we're show. We're going to head out to the artist's entrance, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who's in or not at the moment, famous wise, but if anybody asks for an autograph when you get outside, and it has happened, just sign it. And so it's one of my finest productions. I'm dreadfully proud. We haven't finished with you. We'll have a little chat when we get outside. If you could follow the beautiful Nell Gwynn. That's you!